Hello everybody. I'm doing this video to just talk about actually what the good news is with regards to this COVID-19 pandemic. The good news is relative because all things in life are relative. The first thing that is relative and important to note is that it could be much worse. The number of deaths, the percentage is about 1% of those who are affected. It could be a lot worse. We've all seen these disaster movies with much worse scenarios. So just noting that, but that's not even the aim of this video. The aim of this video is that to remind us that we're, for the most part, we're still eating, we still have places to sleep for most of us. We still have Wi-Fi, we have electricity, we have relative security in most countries. So things have changed for the worse to a certain degree, but it is not nearly as bad as it could be. So to me, we should be really thankful that this happened and that it did not cause as much problems as it could have. The idea behind this is that just like somebody that was like a crazy driver, a dangerous driver, people would ask him, "Hey, slow down, man. You're really you may cause an accident, you may kill somebody," but that person never listens. And one day that person has an accident, and that accident is really dangerous, but this person survives. When that person survives, they finally have the realization to how close they'd come to death. So based on that, I say that we are that person. We came close to something major, but for the most part, we are avoiding the worst. We could have a crisis, and that could still happen someday, a crisis where basically food, which is our essential ingredient for life, becomes scarce. And then at that point, we could be fighting each other, brother killing brother or mother even, to feed your children. So basically, I'm just describing a horrible scenario, but the point is, let's remember that, yes, our lives have been altered. Now, just like any other virus in the past or any, financial crisis or whatever, the weak will always die. This is the natural selection process. So right now, what we have to do is realize what we have left and not what we've lost. And prepare ourselves for what's coming later in our lives, which means since it's always the weak that dies, let's make sure we are not one of the weak. Each one of us has to do his or her utmost to be the strongest possible, the healthiest possible, the wealthiest possible. Not that I care about money, but at least have savings or have money to help others. So basically, this is a lesson. We survived a car crash. Let's make sure that it never happens again. This is on our level, we average folk kind of deal. But on the part of governments, let's just hope that some will decide to change their ways and to not only think of growth, constant growth, and to start thinking about a safety net for their people, an infrastructure for just such an occasion, taking care of the healthcare workers. Nurses make nothing in comparison to all the services they render. We can also think of, this will never happen, but instead of paying basketball players and soccer players multi-millions per year, we should take some of that money and give it to those who really, really matter. Scientists that do the research in the labs and on ships in the Antarctic, that study rock, that study bacteria and all these good things. So that's the hope. And that we also, countries like the United States, will think of allocating more money to research rather than defense. Blowing up the budget every year by an extra 10% while nurses are making nothing is not a very wise approach. When you build up that kind of stuff, it's because you're thinking of war rather than thinking of peace and health and science and the well-being of the people. So that's just wishful thinking, but on our level, let's be level-headed and understand that this will pass like everything else. The planet is 5.5 billion years old and everything has passed. This will pass. Now, how will we come out of it? On my personal end, I'm doing everything to come out of it a better person. Rethinking my priorities, focusing on stuff I didn't have time to do before, and becoming more efficient with my energy and time. And I will just adjust my life accordingly. I hope this was helpful to you, and I look forward to making other videos on much more important, maybe not as important, but other important issues in the future. Thank you, and I'll talk to you later.